When you lose a spouse, your world doesn't just change, it shatters. The silence that follows isn't just quiet, it's heavy. The routines you once shared are now replaced by endless decisions you never thought you'd have to face alone. From paperwork to family expectations, from financial pressure to emotional exhaustion, it can feel like you're being pulled in every direction, all while trying to carry the weight of your grief. In moments like these, it's easy to make quick decisions, simply to escape the pain, to feel like you're doing something, or to appease the voices around you. But some of those choices, made in the fog of heartbreak, can bring consequences that linger far beyond the grief itself. Decisions that may seem harmless at first can quietly lead to regret, financial instability, or emotional setbacks that make healing even more difficult. Grief is deeply personal. There's no right way to go through it. But there are common missteps that many people fall into during this vulnerable time, simply because no one warned them. And that's why this video matters. We're going to explore 5 critical things you should say no to after the loss of a spouse. Choices that may seem small but could have lasting impacts on your future. These aren't just tips. They're safeguards for your heart, your stability, and your peace of mind. Because moving forward doesn't mean moving fast. It means moving wisely, with care, and in your own time. So, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll feel more empowered, more informed, and more supported as you navigate this new chapter in life with dignity, strength, and the clarity you deserve. Let's begin. 1. Holding on to every possession without letting go. One of the hardest things to do after losing a spouse is deciding what to do with their belongings. Every item holds memories, and the thought of letting go can feel like losing them all over again. Many widows and widowers struggle with this, keeping every piece of clothing, every personal belonging, and every small item exactly as it was, afraid that moving or changing anything means erasing the life they shared. But while it's understandable to hold on, keeping everything indefinitely can sometimes make grief even heavier, preventing emotional healing and the ability to move forward. Holding on to some sentimental items is completely natural. There's no rule that says you have to get rid of everything. But keeping an entire home untouched for years, leaving their closet exactly as it was, or avoiding making any changes, can turn a house into a shrine of grief rather than a place of comfort. Over time, instead of bringing peace, it can serve as a daily reminder of what has been lost, making it harder to adjust to a new chapter of life. Take the case of 76-year-old David. After his wife of 55 years passed, he left everything exactly as she had. Her shoes stayed by the door, her clothes remained in the closet, and her favorite chair was left untouched. At first, it felt like a way to keep her close, but as the months passed, he realized that walking past her untouched belongings every day was keeping him stuck in the same place emotionally. He wasn't ready to get rid of everything. But when he slowly started donating some items, keeping only a few meaningful ones, he felt a sense of relief. It wasn't about forgetting, it was about making room for healing. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or loving less. It means allowing yourself space to breathe. Instead of forcing yourself to make sudden changes, start small. Choose a few meaningful keepsakes, a piece of jewelry, a handwritten note, a favorite photo, and create a special space for them. Then, when you feel ready, begin sorting through other belongings, deciding what truly holds meaning and what is simply taking up space. Another mistake people make is feeling pressured by others to get rid of things before they're ready. Friends or family members may mean well, suggesting that you should clear things out or move on. But this decision should always be made on your own timeline. If you're not ready, don't rush it. At the same time, be mindful that holding on to everything out of guilt or fear may be keeping you in a place of sadness longer than necessary. There is also an emotional balance in repurposing rather than just removing. Some people find comfort in turning an old shirt into a quilt, transforming a collection of letters into a memory book, or passing down sentimental items to loved ones who will cherish them. This way, their presence remains, but in a way that brings warmth instead of just sorrow. Ultimately, grief is not about things. It's about love, memories, and the bond you shared. No object can replace a person, but clinging to everything they owned won't bring them back either. Letting go in small and thoughtful ways is not an act of forgetting. It's a step toward honoring their memory while also making space for your own healing. Moving forward doesn't mean moving away from them. It simply means carrying them with you in a way that allows both love and life to coexist. 2. Rushing into a new relationship. Losing a spouse leaves an emotional void that can feel impossible to fill. For many, the loneliness that follows is one of the hardest parts of grief, and the idea of finding companionship again may seem like the only way to cope. While there is nothing wrong with wanting connection, one of the most common mistakes widows and widowers make is rushing into a new relationship before they have fully processed their grief. The emotions of loss can create a deep need for comfort, but making major romantic decisions too soon can lead to more heartache, confusion, and regrets. Grief doesn't follow a timeline, and everyone heals at their own pace. Some people take years before even considering dating again, while others feel ready sooner. But when emotions are raw, the risk of entering a relationship for the wrong reasons is high. Many people unknowingly look for a partner not because they are truly ready, but because they are seeking to replace what was lost, avoid loneliness, or escape the pain. These relationships often begin with strong emotions, but lack the stability needed for long-term success. Take the case of 72-year-old Jennifer. Just months after losing her husband of nearly 50 years, she met someone through a friend and quickly entered a relationship. At first, it felt like the companionship she desperately needed, someone to talk to share meals with, to distract her from the overwhelming loneliness. But as time went on, she started to realize that she wasn't truly ready. The relationship moved faster than she expected, and soon she felt trapped in something that didn't feel right. Eventually, she had to step back and take time for herself. But in hindsight, she wished she had given herself more time before making such a big decision. A new relationship should be about genuine connection, not just emotional relief. When someone has spent decades with a spouse, the habits, routines, and shared memories are deeply ingrained. Jumping into a relationship before processing that loss can lead to unfair comparisons, unrealistic expectations, and feelings of guilt. Some widows and widowers even find themselves struggling with conflicting emotions, wanting to move forward, but feeling as if they are betraying the person they lost. These are natural feelings, but they need to be acknowledged and worked through before entering into something new. Another concern is being vulnerable to those with bad intentions. Unfortunately, there are people who take advantage of those who are grieving, offering emotional support only to manipulate or exploit them financially. Scammers, and even well-meaning but opportunistic individuals, often seek out widowed seniors, knowing they may be emotionally fragile and in need of companionship. This is why it's essential to trust your instincts and take your time. If someone is pressuring you to commit quickly, make financial decisions, or distance yourself from friends and family, those are red flags that shouldn't be ignored. This doesn't mean avoiding love or companionship forever. Many widows and widowers do find meaningful relationships later in life, but the healthiest and most fulfilling ones happen when both individuals are truly ready, when the decision is made from a place of healing, not desperation. Time and reflection are key. Taking the time to process grief, rediscover personal identity, and find peace in being alone before seeking a new partner makes a world of difference. If you do choose to date again, go at your own pace. Take time to understand what you truly want in a relationship, and make sure you're entering it for the right reasons. Talk with trusted friends or family members about your feelings, and don't feel pressured by anyone's opinions, whether they think it's too soon or that you shouldn't be alone. The decision is yours and yours alone. At the end of the day, grief and healing are deeply personal journeys. There is no rush, no deadline, and no rule book. The most important thing is to take care of yourself first, so that if and when the time comes, any new relationship you enter is built on a foundation of strength, peace, and true companionship. 3. ignoring your own health and well-being. When a spouse passes away, many people find themselves so consumed by grief that they stop paying attention to their own health. It's easy to put off doctor's appointments, skip meals, or let daily routines slip when you're dealing with loss. Some people even feel guilty about taking care of themselves, as if prioritizing their health somehow diminishes the depth of their love or grief. But the reality is, neglecting your well-being doesn't bring you closer to the one you lost. It only makes your journey forward harder. Grief affects the body in ways many people don't realize. Studies show that losing a spouse increases the risk of heart problems, weakened immune function, and even cognitive decline. The stress of grief can lead to high blood pressure, disrupted sleep, and changes in appetite. Some people lose interest in eating, while others turn to unhealthy comfort foods. Over time, these changes can take a serious toll on both physical and mental health. The key is not to expect yourself to feel normal overnight, but to make small choices that help your body stay strong as you navigate this difficult time. Take the case of 81-year-old Oleg. After his wife passed, he stopped cooking meals for himself. He told himself he just wasn't hungry, and when he did eat, it was usually something quick and processed. Within a few months, he started feeling weaker, had trouble sleeping, and felt constantly fatigued. His daughter noticed the change and encouraged him to start eating regular meals again, even if he didn't have an appetite. Once he made small adjustments, like preparing simple, nutritious foods and drinking more water, he found that his energy levels improved, his mood stabilized, and he was better equipped to handle the emotions that came with grief. Self-care isn't just about food. It includes movement, sleep, and emotional health. Many people who lose a spouse stop exercising, not because they don't want to stay active, but because they no longer have someone to do it with. But staying physically active, even if it's just a short daily walk, has been shown to reduce stress, boost mood, and even improve longevity. In some cases, joining a local walking group or exercise class can provide both physical benefits and much-needed social connection. Another common mistake is neglecting medical checkups. Many widows and widowers skip routine doctor visits or delay seeking medical care because they feel too overwhelmed. But this is the time when taking care of your health is more important than ever. If you haven't been to the doctor in a while, make an appointment. Getting regular checkups, managing existing health conditions, and staying on top of medications can make a significant difference in how you feel, physically and emotionally. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Grief can lead to depression, anxiety, and even feelings of hopelessness, especially when combined with isolation. If you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out for help. Speaking with a counselor, joining a grief support group, or even just opening up to a trusted friend can provide relief and reassurance. You don't have to go through this alone, and seeking support is not a sign of weakness. It's a step toward healing. Your spouse would have wanted you to take care of yourself. Honoring their memory doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being. It means continuing to live in a way that allows you to find moments of peace and strength. It's okay to grieve, to take your time, and to feel the weight of loss. But in the midst of it all, remember that your health still matters. You are still here, and your well-being is worth protecting. 4. Isolating yourself from friends and family. After losing a spouse, it's natural to want time alone. Grief is deeply personal, and sometimes solitude feels like the only way to process the pain. But while taking moments to yourself is important, completely shutting out friends and family can lead to an even deeper sense of loneliness, one that makes healing harder. Many people fall into the habit of withdrawing, telling themselves they just need more time. But the truth is, isolation can quickly turn into a pattern that's difficult to break. Human connection plays a crucial role in emotional well-being, especially during times of loss. When people distance themselves for too long, they often experience increased feelings of sadness, anxiety, and even physical health decline. Studies have shown that prolonged social isolation can weaken the immune system, increase blood pressure, and even shorten lifespan. In contrast, staying connected even in small ways, can help ease the emotional burden and provide a much-needed sense of support. Take the case of 78-year-old Walter. When his wife of 52 years passed away, he stopped answering phone calls, skipped family gatherings, and rarely left the house. He told himself he just wasn't in the mood to talk, that people wouldn't understand his grief, and that being alone was easier. Months passed, and instead of feeling better, he felt worse. His days blurred together, his energy dropped, and even his appetite changed. It wasn't until a neighbor insisted he come over for coffee that something shifted. That one conversation turned into a weekly habit, then a small routine of meeting up with friends. The more he engaged, the lighter he felt, not because the pain disappeared, but because he realized he wasn't alone in carrying it. The key isn't to force yourself into big social situations before you're ready. It's about taking small steps to stay connected, whether it's answering a phone call, going for a short walk with a friend, or even joining a support group. These little actions can help keep you from slipping into deep loneliness. If you don't feel like talking, that's okay. Simply being around people, even if it's just listening to a conversation, can help remind you that life continues and that support is available when you need it. Another mistake many people make is pushing away those who care the most. Sometimes grief brings irritability, exhaustion, or a sense that others just don't understand what you're going through. But shutting people out completely can create unnecessary distance between you and those who genuinely want to help. Your loved ones may not have the perfect words, but their presence alone can make a difference. Letting them in bit by bit can provide comfort, even when words aren't enough. It's also important to seek support from those who understand your experience. Connecting with others who have been through similar loss, whether through a grief support group, a community gathering, or even an online forum, can be incredibly healing. Speaking with people who truly understand what you're going through can validate your feelings and provide reassurance that you're not alone. Grief doesn't follow a schedule, and there's no right way to heal. But staying completely isolated only makes the journey harder. Finding small ways to reconnect with others at your own pace can provide strength, support, and even moments of unexpected joy. Remember, you don't have to carry the weight of loss alone. There are people who care, who want to be there for you, and who can help you move forward one step at a time. 5. Making big financial decisions too soon. One of the most common mistakes people make after losing a spouse is rushing into major financial decisions. It's understandable. Suddenly, you're faced with bank accounts, insurance policies, investments, and possibly even the question of whether to keep or sell your home. In the midst of grief, it can feel like taking immediate action will provide stability or a sense of control. But the reality is, grief clouds judgment, and making irreversible financial choices too soon can lead to regrets down the road. When emotions are running high, decisions that seem logical in the moment might not be the best for the long term. Many widows and widowers feel pressured by well-meaning friends, financial advisors, or even their own sense of urgency to sell their house, move to a new location, or make large investments. But the months after losing a spouse are a time of emotional adjustment, not financial risk-taking. The smartest move you can make is to pause. Give yourself time to process your loss before making choices that could affect the rest of your life. Take the case of 74-year-old Margaret. After losing her husband, she was told by multiple people that she should downsize her home immediately. The idea made sense: less space to maintain, lower expenses, and a fresh start. So within a few months, she sold the house they had lived in for 40 years and moved into a smaller apartment in a different town. But once the shock of loss settled, she realized she had made a decision out of panic. She missed her familiar surroundings, her neighbors, and the sense of comfort her home provided. In hindsight, she wished she had waited longer before making such a big move. Financial decisions don't just involve real estate. Many newly widowed individuals are targeted by financial predators, people who see vulnerability as an opportunity. Whether it's unsolicited investment opportunities, high-pressure sales tactics, or even well-intentioned but uninformed advice from friends, it's crucial to be cautious. If someone is urging you to sign papers, make a major withdrawal, or invest in something quickly, take a step back. The best financial decisions are rarely the ones made in a rush. Another common mistake is giving away money or assets too quickly. Grief often brings a strong desire to help others, children, grandchildren, charities, or close friends. While generosity is a wonderful thing, making large financial gifts or dividing assets prematurely can leave you in a vulnerable position later on. What seems manageable in the moment might not be sustainable in the years ahead. Before making any major financial moves, it's best to consult with a trusted professional who understands your long-term needs and can help you plan wisely. The first year after losing a spouse should be about stabilization, not drastic financial changes. Experts often recommend the 1-year rule, which suggests waiting at least a year before making any irreversible financial decisions. This allows time for the initial emotional shock to pass, and for you to think clearly about what's truly best for your future. Losing a spouse is already one of life's most difficult transitions. The last thing you need is added stress from financial missteps that could have been avoided. Take your time. Seek trusted guidance. And remember, there's no rush. The best decisions are made with clarity, not grief. Losing the person you built a life with leaves an emptiness that words can't fully describe. It shifts the ground beneath your feet, changes how you see the world, and redefines what it means to move forward. In those quiet moments of grief, every decision feels heavier, because it's not just about what comes next, it's about how to keep going without the one who stood beside you. But in this fragile chapter, your choices matter more than ever. They can either add more weight to your sorrow or become stepping stones toward healing. By learning to pause, reflect, and say no to the decisions that might pull you deeper into emotional or financial strain, you give yourself the space to breathe and the grace to heal. This journey isn't about getting over your loss. It's about learning how to carry it with you, gently, without letting it dim the rest of your life. Moving forward doesn't erase love, it honors it. It says, I love deeply, and now I choose to live fully. So ask yourself, what lesson resonated most with you today? What small change can you make that brings a little more peace, a little more clarity into your life right now? We'd be honored to hear your story in the comments below. Your voice might be the comfort someone else needs to hear. If this message touched your heart, consider liking and subscribing. It's a small action, but it allows us to keep creating content that supports, uplifts, and walks beside those navigating life after loss. Thank you for spending this time with us. Wherever you are on your journey, know this: you are not alone. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself with kindness, patience, and hope.